Happy hunting.
Hunt me.
I am the hunted one.
I'm hunting most things.
Let's hunt something. You can hunt.
Long have you hunted me? You're being hunted.
Good day, everybody. 5th of September 2018. Let's look at the top 10 hunts from Steemhunt for today. First one is Quant. I don't think that's the best name for a search engine, but the search engine that respects your privacy. So this is a EU specific or EU built, I believe, search engine, which kind of looks cool. It kind of looks like it's been brought up to date from a design aesthetic. There's obviously a lot of conversation about search engines and corporations and search results and things being limited and yada yada yada. So I think it's good to look around at different search engines, at different ways of accessing information from the web. That's not just Google. Especially now that we've had Google for a long time. I think anything that brings innovation into this arena is good, because it opens up debates as to why one service does one thing and another does another. You know, like you end up with just like this megalomaniac kind of company that owns all the data. And as you've seen in like news articles, it's kind of who owns what and who's making the decision on that, and why am I only getting this kind of news. And so anything that's kind of impartial and then at the same time is not data mining you, it's worth looking into, you know, having a play around with it. What am I looking? Let me have a look for. What am I looking for? Let's have a look at Japan. Do a search for Japan. What do we get? Boom. It's kind of nice. Nice layout. It reminds me of what's that other one? Something, I was going to say Go-Go, but it's not Go-Go. I can't think of it now. That's going to do my head in. That's going to do my head in. But there's a similar service to this that lays out the look like this. Probably people screaming at the monitor like now, saying, all right, let me get on to the next one. I'm just trying to get my screen autofocus. There you go. Next one is Animal. So we've seen these kind of robots before, right? We've seen them from DARPA, and there's a whole bunch of other people, I presume, making these. But this is the first time that I've noticed a completely different company advertising it. I'm sure there's many companies, science, MIT kind of businesses making these, because whoever gets it right, whoever can do it for a certain cost, make it reliable, it's probably going through extreme tests right now, doing 100 and different things. But this is the second one I've seen, so I'm getting kind of concerned now that these things are going to be literally on the streets in the next few years, because we're getting close to that point where as soon as you start seeing a couple of companies doing it, then there's going to be like 100 different companies that are putting these things out. I mean, look at all the technology hanging off this thing. I mean, I'm sure they're dedicated for dedicated units. Take Fukushima, for instance, that the big disaster there with the nuclear reactors. They couldn't send people in there because of the radiation levels. So I'm sure they're building all kinds of different kind of robots to go up and down stairs and go into areas where humans can't. Just scares me the moment somebody gets hold of one of these on the black market and starts putting AK-74s on the side of it. Alright, next up is the Desolinator. Really like the design of this. It's almost like a big calculator with a solar panel on it. What this does is an integrated system that uses solar power in a novel way. A typical solar panel is only 15% efficient at turning solar irradiance into electricity. The rest of the input is wasted as heat. So what this does is it uses this low-grade waste heat to warm up water in a reservoir to 95 C. This hot water is then passed into a small internal vessel where the electrical energy produced by the solar panel is used to boil the water. This produces distilled water vapor, which is condensed in an internal heat exchanger to produce clean drinking water, while retaining the latent heat within the device to assist in continuous cycle of production throughout the day. I mean, it looks good. I mean, the first version does not look as good as the concept, let's be honest. So the first version is probably going to be a bit janky. But I do like the fact that they've kind of designed this portable model with the wheels on it and the handle at the top, so you can just pull it into a certain place, put it into a certain area. They've got this massive big community model, up to 10 meters squared, I think that is. What is that, 10 meter 3? I'm not sure what that is, my maths is terrible. Of water a day, customizable for requirements. interesting technology, and why not use the latent energy to do something else? You know, we need more things in the world that do more than just a single function device. Actually take, you know, stand back from the device, and how can we make that A, more energy efficient, and B, how can we use some of that subsidy in something else, you know? Next up is Spintex. Spintex, insanely versatile furniture. Really clever. It's like little module blocks that slide together, and you can kind of shape it to the furniture that you want. I like this because the best thing about it is, instead of, if you especially live in a high-rise flat, or you're on the move in a van, with something like this you can just compact it down and just build it up. You get the exercise from building it up, and you can just store it, you know, unpack it at the end of the day, slide the slats off it, store it away somewhere, and then rebuild it in whatever way you want. You don't have to have it in this seat. You can have it like a hammock, or you could just build like a set of shelving from it, or a computer desk, I guess. Yeah, you could probably make a desk out of it, like 2 legs and like a tabletop. Either way, very cool technology. I don't know how much it is, but really cool like concept. You just slide those elements together like that, they lock into place, and then you can kind of move it and shape it like I guess it's like the spine in some ways, you know, like the spine of your back is like a curvature. You can do the same thing with this. Really cool technology. Innovative, that's what we call it, innovative. Next up is Meaningful Motion UI, a free user interface animation course to grow your design skills, improve your product, and increase the bottom line. I really want to learn some kind of animation program. I originally looked at motion, and it blew my mind in terms of the level of detail and layers and everything that you can go with that. I don't want something like that. I don't want to go that hardcore, because the problem with something hardcore like that is there's 50 ways to do something, and I'll do the way that takes 10 hours, only to find out that you can do it in 3 clicks and an extension or a script. So anything that helps me learn, I want to get some of that fluid animation style that you see, you know, like you see in the motion videos. I used to know a guy who used to get paid $100 per second for his video work for MTV, based in San Francisco. $100 a second, crazy. Next up is the dock. A floating dock in the middle of a surf break. This is wild. I mean, it's very similar to that technology we just looked at for the furniture, right? But for the sea. So they've got this big 100-foot like floating dock where people can stand on it as the waves are moving around them. And then I presume it's good for beginners, because they can effectively stand on this instead of being in the water, and then kind of try and jump into the wave as the wave comes. Or if you're quite proficient at surfing already, I guess you can stand on this and advise to people as they get started or something. But very cool, because it moves with the tide, because it's light enough to move with the tide, but strong enough for people to stand on it. Kind of cool. Last 4 then. The solar cold chain solution, the Aldelano solar chiller pre-cooler, small cold storage unit that runs on solar power. Great resource for agricultural temperature control storage. So inside it looks like it's got some standard air conditioning units. I don't know if they've been like inverted. They look a little bit ghetto, to be honest. They've got little controllers at the back there. Maybe they're running them through a sine wave converter, and they're kind of 240 volts. I don't know how they've done that, unless they're 12 volt versions, which I'd be more interested to know as where they get the 12 volt air conditioners from. And then everything is powered by the solar panels on the roof. I kind of like it because the inside looks like they've used the foam as well to insulate this room. It looks like a standard little shed, but they've kind of insulated it as well. Temperatures range from 45 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit within a 12 foot, 20 foot or 60 foot container. Kind of cool if you're definitely looking to, you know, make some produce on site and then store it before you ship it somewhere, or just so that you've got it. Being able to use solar power for it is kind of fire. Next up is cryptocurrency list.io. As you can see, everything is crashing at the minute. We're down to 6,400. Dropped $600 on Bitcoin overnight. I think this is being manipulated myself. I think it's being manipulated. It's such a drop. It's definitely a time to be buying Litecoin at $55. I remember when Litecoin was $350 at Christmas time. Next up is Robot. Oh, I like that. ROWBOT. Consistently grow more with less. Robotic solutions for row crop agriculture. I think this is the jobs that we'll be doing in the very near future, is to go out and repair the robots doing the agriculture, because it'd be too damn hot to go out there. So I think all of those little robots that I was showing you earlier on, there's definitely going to be some hardcore battle-tested, heat-proof versions of them knocking about. So what this does is a robotic solution basically for going and cultivating. I think this is for actually laying down the seeds, but I'm sure that will advance to cutting the crops, taking the crops down, automating that whole food process as we start rolling out CRISPR technology, altered food grains that can resist crazy temperatures. Lastly today, screen focus. If you're running a couple of screens, then this might be really useful for you. Working with multiple monitors made right. Stay focused, don't let side monitors distract you. Brighten up a monitor in no time, so you scroll over to it and it lights up. And there's a whole bunch of different settings there as well for like adjusting the dim level, the time before a screen is dimmed. Very simple app, but actually one of those ones that will help with your focus and your attention. Alright, that's it for the top 10 today. If this is the first time you're seeing Steemhunt, this is what the website looks like as of September 2018. All the links are on the right hand side. Click one, goes through to the left hand side. The white button takes you through to it. If you click on the plus button, top right hand corner, then you get to see all of the form that allows you to submit a product to the site. You can put in a title, subtitle, 1,000 characters of body text, some images and some tags. Click submit, takes it to the Steam blockchain, your actual account that your Steam account that you logged in via Steam Connect. And it also puts it into our top chart for the day, which gets reset every day at 12 o'clock Korean time, which is about 4 p.m. GMT. And you got potential of getting an upvote by the little bid bot that runs around. Very simple to do. There is a search box at the top right hand corner of the site when you go there, so always search and make sure it's not been listed already, and do read the guidelines before submitting anything, because if you do get delisted, it does affect your hunter score, which you kind of want to build up by being consistent and being part of the community, doing upvoting, and just not getting as many delists as you do verifications. That's it for me today. I will catch you soon. Take care. Bye.
Prepare the path of a steam.
Smell of steam.
Stomnassie, wat is een stomnassie? Stoommachine.
Why shouldn't a guy let off a little steam?
The steam.